I found you recording one. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Hello, my name is John.
Yeah, so how are you today?
No, I'm good. I'm hungover as fuck.
another late session Call of Duty.
Yeah, literally was. Literally was.
Well, I mean, you're true to your character anyway. There's
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah. The character was based on real life, as you can tell.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Just
right.
put my questions here.
Because you posted, I guess I should start. We met on the Great Mates group, which is essentially Mr. Sunday Movies' community. And you posted a video, Boy Racer, to do the like a live premiere of it.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and which I was there, and I didn't realize that function of YouTube. So the reason I did a live premiere of this was actually because of you watching
awesome.
yours. Yeah. So that.
Oh, wicked! That's cool. All comes full circle.
Yeah, and then and I asked people obviously to help with this, and then you were there, and then you were like, "Oh, look at my stuff," and I was like, "Oh shit, it's the guy who made that movie."
Oh, wicked! That's cool.
So, yeah,
I love shit like that. It really kind of comes full circle, and it's like, I love when you start to see the people's names pop up that you recognize. It's like, oh shit, they did that other thing, or they had that same opinion that I did, and it all kind of cross links.
Yeah.
So,
and like you'll see at the end, even at the end of the credits of I Found You, there's like a Great Mate section of just all the guys who like helped out and stuff, which it's a cool little community.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to get a little bit of your background in your filmmaking experience. So you mentioned a little bit about the cruise ship and that side of things.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is my cat Falcor. Say hi to John. No,
Falcor.
not today.
That's the best name for a cat I've heard.
Yeah, Falcor. We actually found him. So,
wow.
I mean, as a massive fan of Neverending Story, it was literally the only option for an all-white cat. Yeah, I guess if you could just give me a little bit of background in your filmmaking side of things, if you could maybe talk a little bit about the stuff you did, outside of the cruise ship, like the creative side of things that you may have worked on, or
Yeah, so the very first film I made was in Australia. I was on holiday with my family. We were staying with some aunties and uncles who live out there, and I literally I was like 10 years old. I picked up the video camera and I was just filming them, and I kind of made it seem like I was living with this alien family. So it was kind of this documentary, and and then I did like adverts and everything. So like it would just cut to an advert of me like trying to sell a watch and stuff. And there was one I was selling a watch, and then my brother just runs in and just starts beating the crap out of me while I was doing it, and he was like, "Stop filming me!" And I was like, "Well, you just made my film better because it looks like the aliens are attacking now." So yeah. And then I came home and I showed it to my best friend Luke, and we started basically making films similar to that. We stuck a lot to the supernatural kind of stuff, but then we got a lot into like toy guns and stuff, so we made like a lot of SWAT movies and things. I'm trying to think. And then as time went on, Luke really delved into it. Like he really wanted to make a feature film, so we made a feature film. Well, we started to make a feature film whilst we were at university. So it was this really like guerrilla filmmaking style of just standing in a crowd and just picking up the camera secretly and recording and stuff. But it was cool, and that was some like weird metaphorical end of the world movie.
So it never got finished in the end.
Unfortunately, not. No, we showed it actually because at the end of our course. We were in year 2 at the time, and it's a 3-year course. The third years would show their final films, which were like 10-minute films, and we were like, can we show ours? But it's a feature film, so we can't. But we had like 15 minutes of an edit. So they were like, oh, just show like a preview of it and then put a trailer on the end for like the rest of the movie. So they allowed us to do that, which was really cool. And I remember a teacher came up to us and was like, you just kind of ruined the evening because your film was better than any of the year 3 films. So that was yeah, so that was really cool.
As I said, kind of before we started recording, myself and the missus were a big fan of it. We thought it was really, really well put together.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd just like to know, where did the idea for I Found You come from?
It came from that guy, actually, the guy I met online, insulting me. So that's all real. The beginning bit, when I'm actually, like, me and my ex-missus, we got really drunk, and then I played Xbox until like 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to unlock this bloody gun, which turned out to be the worst gun ever. Like, it was rubbish. And I met this guy, and he was insulting me, and we started insulting each other loads. And then me trying to track down his actual gamer tag and find out who he was so I could message him. That was all real and all legit. And I recorded that whole thing. I thought it would be a really funny video, but then I realised they've added something in. But you can't, if you're recording a game, you can't record someone else's voice if they're not like in your group, which I guess is which is fair enough. I guess that they can't. So when I rewatched it, I was like, this is gonna be a funny video, but you couldn't hear any of the things he was saying, and I record independently as well my own voice. I did back then anyway, and I didn't record anything because my girlfriend was sleeping, so I wasn't really talking very much. So I was like, "That's such a cool little conversation." And then so sending him the message, that was all real, but I never heard from him ever again. But then the idea just kind of like, what if he did message me back, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a really cool concept. I guess from my perspective, how would you class the film? Because it's not really a documentary because it's not truly real, and it's not a mockumentary because you do take the subject quite seriously.
Yeah.
So I guess what way do you what genre do you put it in?
I don't know. It's like a fictional documentary. I don't really know. It was obviously heavily inspired by like Don't Fuck with Cats and all of those. They were during the time I was filming, they were like huge. They had just all come out, and so it's kind of like that. I literally, as I said before, when I was in Australia, the first film I made was a documentary, and I think documentaries are a really great way to make a low budget film because half of it can just be the camera looking at you and you just explaining it. And as long as you put some creepy music with it, it kind of sounds quite good.
The music in this actually was phenomenal. It was really, really nice. And I love the tone changes that followed in the music were really, really nice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what I'll class it as. It's kind of like a horror adjacent fictional documentary, I guess. I'm not really.
I had fictional documentary in my notes just to see. I was like, would that line up roughly with what you were thinking as well?
Yeah.
So, you said in the credits that names and likenesses were changed for this, but why did you choose to use your real name if that is your real name?
Yeah, it is my real name. Firstly, I wanted to make it more real. Because, as I said, I wasn't really intending to make this for anybody else other than my friends. So I wanted it to seem quite real because they obviously know me. I think it's always a bit weird when you see your friend acting as well. Because you can't really take it 100% serious all the time, I imagine. So I used my real name for that. The main reason I changed the name was Gavin's name. I changed that because I was like, what if this does blow up and it goes crazy viral and then this poor guy gets like, hunted down. And then the address I changed, like the address doesn't even make sense. Like the town is from one town and then the street's from another, and then the picture of the house is from somewhere else. So that's all fictional as well. And at the same time as well, I thought blurring out all the images and makes it kind of look a bit more real, because you're kind of like questioning why would it be all blurred out. So, which turned out to be a pain in the ass through editing, but I think it kind of adds to the aesthetic. that if you search it, you're like, oh, this is a real guy, because it's actually his name. But then, like, how much the story is real, kind of thing. So I think, yeah, having the groundwork on my actual name and, yeah, people I know involved, it kind of just made it seem really more real, I would say.
Yeah. Well, it got to a certain point where I was talking, like, my missus turned to me and she was like, is this a real documentary? Ignoring the bit that at the front that said it's based on true events.
Yeah, inspired by true events, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
I had to do a lot of research into the difference between based on and inspired by. I had to I was like, I don't want to get...
Yeah, oh man, the wording on things like that are so essential.
Yeah.
I guess overall, how many people were actually involved in the production?
Technically just me. Because I played every character. Well, so it was me. I was obviously me in the lead. James, who's the guy who gets interviewed halfway through, that was me as well, with a voice changer. It was originally that was going to be my friend, but he's having a baby and stuff, so things got busy. So I didn't. So I'll just do it. There's the police camera bit with the gun, and I shoot my girlfriend. So she's there. The voice of Gavin saying the creepy stuff, that's my friend Jason, who's part of my John Pound crew. And then there's the scene where we're all just mocking Gavin when we're just taking the piss out of him on that game. That's just a handful of great mates. And then a couple of when you see the people stood outside the houses and like those images of people stood outside the door, a couple of them are some friends as well, but most of them were just stolen from Google Images.
Yeah, nice. That actually brings beautifully into how did you find all of the footage, because there's a lot of footage there, especially in that kind of opening montage and stuff like that. Where did you source all that?
That was all YouTube. I just literally ripped it directly from YouTube. That was the very first bit I did, was the intro bit where it's the countdown to... The idea of that was meant to be this is 2020. So it's like starts as a countdown, and then it's like the Australian bushfires, and then the Black Lives Matter, and then the coronavirus and stuff like that. And it was just kind of like how crazy 2020 is already, and then this is another crazy thing that happened. But yeah, that was the very first thing I did. And I think at that point, the movie didn't really have a huge structure as to what was actually gonna happen in the movie. It was constantly kind of changing. But yeah, that was the first bit. It was all just ripped from YouTube, and then I just heavily zoomed in on most of it, because most of it was quite good quality, and then I just kind of zoomed in on aspects.
So how long did it take from kind of coming up with the idea based on your real life conversation to kind of completion? I know it's only been out a couple of weeks, so
I think I started... It would have started in May or June, I think, and then I finished it a week before it was released. So it took like a good 6 months, but it could have been a lot less. I could have done it much quicker. Christmas was obviously in the middle. I moved out as well. Just a lot of stuff happened kind of in the middle, so I didn't have the motivation to do a lot of it. Because a lot of it is that kind of B-roll where it's like zooming in on websites and all stuff like that. It just took so long to just like, oh, now I have to create a web page, and now I have to create a Reddit account and write loads of comments and write a post and do this, and now I have to make this, and now I have to make another video, and it just like took like a really long time. And I had the basic of it laid out, so I edited it. I did the dialogue of me first, and then I kind of just put the stuff on top of that as I went through. So that so it could have happened a lot quicker if I had just put my ass into gear. But
so you filmed all that talking head stuff in May, say, and then
it was
pieced it all together.
It was probably like June or July. I think I probably filmed that. I had to wait till the house was empty so I could film. I could film it basically, and occasionally you see the dog walking around as well, and that's it.
And I guess there's two questions here kind of tied in together. Is like, how long did you spend finding the stock footage? And I know you said there a second ago you also built websites and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And how long did you spend editing?
Ooh. The stock footage didn't take that long, to be honest with you. I kind of knew what I wanted. So I think like it's only about 5 YouTube clips, like the opening news bit. I was like, I want to count down. So I got the New Year's clip. And then... No, there's probably, yeah, and then there's probably 2 from each kind of aspect. So 2 from the Black Lives Matter, 2 from the fire, 2 from the coronavirus. And then, and then I just kind of cut them up like that. So that didn't take a huge amount of time. And then, yeah, all the I was quite detailed at first about all the websites and stuff. And then as it went on, I just kind of got more and more bored. I was like messaging my friend, like, how can I code a news website to say what I want it to say? And so I was like copying the source code and trying to find like a website design so I could just like copy in the HTML and all this stuff. And then I just found the website and it was like, make your own fake news website. So I was just like, okay. And you just literally type in like your headline and and then it all just came up. So
quality.
Yeah, so it kind of got a bit lazy towards the end, but it was.
Well, I'll tell you, I saw no difference between what was there at the end and what was there at the start. It all looked legit to me.
I think that came with like a lot of the blurring out as well. I started to realize like there's just no point because it's all going to be blurred out anyway. So yeah, that. I think, yeah, as I went on, I realised I didn't have to put as much effort into this as I was putting into it. And then, like, a lot of it was, like, messaging my friends and being like... I'd message them on Facebook Messenger and be like, on the group chat, can you send this message? And then they would send the message. But then there's 4 of us in the group, like, the other 2 wouldn't know what's going on. Like, why are you sending that message? Yeah. And I was like, it's for the film, okay? It's for the film.
It's for a reason.
Yeah.
So... how much additional footage then was shot versus stuff you'd already recorded? Like, I know you said you'd kind of do a lot of the gameplay stuff anyway, so...
Yeah. No, we didn't film anything more gameplay other than the final kind of fight I have with Gavin in the game. So that's just me and Jason. We just went on like a 1-on-1, and then I just beat him a couple of times. So that was the only thing in terms of games that was added extra. I had to film the bit where he's walking down the street and he walks by my house. I had to film that as well. A lot of the opening stuff when you see like Roxy the dog and us drinking and we're playing cards and stuff, like I already recorded that because I just sometimes have a camera with me and I just start recording. So like a lot of that was already done. The interview, I think the interview was, when I filmed it straight, was 45 minutes. And I obviously resaid a couple of lines, so that was, and then I cut out a couple of parts, which were just a bit. In the original interview, I didn't change any of the names, so I had to kind of work around that when I realised I should change the names. So if you listen closely on the edit, you'll notice some like sudden changes and stuff like that. Yeah. Like there's the original guy's name, he had like loads of numbers on the back of his name. And originally those numbers like related to one of the messages that he sent, so like I had to like completely cut that out and stuff like that. But no, there wasn't a huge much. I had a pretty good idea what I wanted in it, and I literally did a side by side. Like I wrote the script for the interview, and then I just had a table of each line, and then on the right was what is going to be shown. So I did the whole interview, and then I was like, right, now I need to film this for this line. I need to film this for this line.
Nice.
So it was kind of. And then there's a couple of bits where like my phone's ringing and stuff like that, which was literally just me with my girlfriend's phone ringing my own phone. Yeah.
Nice. So did you do any research and stuff like that on like doxing and swatting and all that sort of stuff that you do kind of touch on there?
Not hugely. I already knew most of it already. Yeah, swatting was like a big. I was telling my my sister's boyfriend about it, and he just didn't believe that it was a thing. So I was like sending him loads of clips and stuff. Like it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's just even more crazy in America as well, obviously because of like armed police and stuff. So that was always in my head. That was always the end game, because I was like, that's the worst kind of thing you could do to someone, I guess, on the internet. So that was always, like a big part of that. But I didn't know. I didn't have to do a lot of research into it. I just kind of already knew.
Yeah, I was also aware of it as well, but I was just curious, did you go further down the rabbit hole to try and pick out kind of specific moments and stuff like that?
I found out like a lot of people had died from it, which I didn't know previously. Like there's the BBC article on there where someone actually died from, which is horrible. So maybe I didn't quite know the full extent of it, because like the videos I had seen was like top 10 funny SWAT moments, and it would be like gamers, you know what I mean? So I didn't realise the severity of it in a sense, so that kind of put it in a new light.
And so it's been out for 3 weeks?
3 weeks, I think tomorrow, yeah. No, today, 3 weeks today.
3 weeks today. And what have the reactions been so far?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been really cool. Everyone's been really nice about it. I at school, I was always like the film guy. Everyone knew I was the film guy. So putting this, like the previous stuff I put on my channel, I didn't share to anybody. It was just on there. Where this, I've actually put an effort in and sharing it to everybody and showing what I've been up to. So a lot of people, like a lot of old school friends, have been messaging me, which has been really nice. A lot of people have just been like, is this true? Is this what John's been up to and all this time? Which comes up a lot. I got messaged by a couple of strangers as well who have just been like, yeah, my friend sent it to me. It's really cool, and which was that was really nice. And then I've had lately I've had some weird things. I had these two strangers message me. One said, I'm interested. How can I help? So I don't know what that was in response to. and this went to like the group page, not to my personal. And then the next guy just said, can you tell me about your background? So I was like, okay. So that was weird. But no, other than that, it's been, yeah. But no, it's been really nice. Even my dad watched it, which he's like 70 something now. He doesn't understand anything that's going on. But he was like, I like the music. You put nice music to it. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll never forget when we made our first feature film, and we hired out like the local Odeon to show it.
Yeah.
And like obviously like all our families came and everything like that. And at the very end of it, Dad came up and he said, geez, it looked like a real film. And that'll always stick with me, because like that's literally the best compliment he could ever have given.
Yeah.
You know, he literally just, you know, he didn't have a comment on the storyline or why this guy did this or whatever. It was nothing technical. It was just a really nice, genuine, it looked like a real film, and that will always stay with me. So as I said, you know, my wife at one stage turned to me and said, is this real? And I think that was the best compliment that could be given to your documentary and what you've achieved. So
absolutely. So I think putting it on YouTube and then people messaging me without me kind of like doing anything, it's quite nice. That it's like they went out of their own way to just tell me that they watched it and they liked it, because you could easily say you watched it and not watched it, or you can watch it and so yeah, that was really nice.
So did you like always intend on putting this out online, or did you have a plan for film festivals and that sort of thing?
Yeah, no, it was always online. This one, YouTube for sure. This was kind of like my test in a way, just to see how that went, and then it turned into a bit more of a passion. Originally, it was going to be like a 10-minute short film, and then I did the opening credits first, and they were like 4 minutes. So I was like, "This it's not going to work. It needs to be long enough to have those credits." But no, yeah, YouTube was always kind of the way, and I was obviously ripping a lot of videos from YouTube and stuff like that. So I was like, I don't know the legalities of me putting this in festivals and things like that. I don't. But I spoke to a couple of friends at the moment, and they think it's okay, but and then the music is it's all non-copyrighted music or free license, royalty free. That's the word. Yeah. Until you put it in a festival or until you're making money off of it, and then you have to kind of pay. So it's free up to that point. So, but maybe I'll have a think about it at some point, but not at the moment.
What's next for you? I guess what's the next plan?
Yeah, I just started actually on the next thing. I want to do another kind of similar thing on belief and like on supernatural and like ghosts and things like that. I'm quite interested in that. I want to. I work in like sales now, and this woman came in and she was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm a medium, and you've got someone stood next to you." And she was like, just started telling me all this really weird information, and I was like, "I don't even." She's like, "It's your granddad, and he's called this," and I was like, "I don't know." And then I asked my sister about it, and then it turned out that my actual granddad was my step granddad, and then the name she gave was like my real granddad's name and stuff that I didn't even know, and stuff like that. And like I live, my family's in Devon, and I'm in Luton now, so like it's not that she knew me or anything like that. It was really bizarre. So I kind of want to have like a little documentary about that again, and just see if I can get in contact with some like mediums and talk about people's past experiences, and I think it's quite interesting how you can see something and then one person kind of interprets it one way and someone else interprets it another, and kind of go on that. But then I want to add probably the fictional aspect of it again, and then kind of eventually tell the story that I want to tell, no matter what the interviews kind of lead to. But I want to focus a bit more on the horror aspect of it. Horror's my favourite genre for movies, and I love the found footage kind of stuff, and there's so much bad found footage stuff. So I'd like to try and create something which has the same effect as I Found You, but you're like, is this real? Like, did this actually happen? And yeah, so that's kind of the main goal.
Lovely. Well, I have only one kind of question left, and it's kind of the most important one. Did you name the hedgehog?
I don't think we did, actually. I don't know if it was just one or if there was a few. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got to be Sonic, though, I guess.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. I sent it to a friend, and they messaged back saying, "Yeah, the best bit was the hedgehog," and I forgot about the hedgehog, to be honest, because that was one of the first films the first bits that we did, what I did, because that was just footage we already had.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, thanks a lot for your help, Barry.
Hey, no problem, man. As I said, genuinely a fan. Like I really did enjoy it. I'll be honest, when you sent it to me originally, I thought it was a short film, and then I realized when I clicked in, it was like, oh, that's 45 minutes. I was like, I'm going to sit down and watch it on the big TV. So we actually we have a 4K TV, so we watched it on that. It looked really good.
That's good. Who are you, and where can we find you? Do that.
Well, I'm Barry Fahy. You can find me on Instagram as beingbaz_. That's usually where I hang out, and then kind of all of our film stuff goes up on the Celtic Badger Media YouTube channel.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everything, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you.
It's been fun.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, you too. It's nice to meet a great mate.